Welcome back, and if this is your first time, thanks for coming. Today's sound gig, I will be supplying sound, so once again, I have to tear apart my jam space. Now I have invested in some duplicates, but I can't afford to replace it all right now. But I'd like to get a newer mixer like a Wing or something like that. Well, this morning it was raining and we had damaging winds. You can see by this lightning, it was crazy. So hopefully today's show is okay. But there is a threat of rain all day. And I'm gonna get to use this new adapter that I found for my SE mic on the snare. Hopefully it's a lot easier than using a whole stand. A stand just doesn't fit well. And if I do get a new mixer, I'll probably put the X32 in this smaller rack as a backup. And this is my new ProX cable trunk that I'm going to be using. I've divided it up in 4 ways, and I've put all my XLRs, my DMX cables, my power, and my lights in it. It makes my job so much easier because everything's just all in one spot. Okay, Rain, you need to get out of here. The wind was insane this morning and last night. Limbs were breaking down, there was lots of damage, but fortunately, I didn't have much damage at all. But hopefully, my gear does not get rained on today. A little update on my PreSonus speakers. Sweetwater has done me a solid, and PreSonus has decided to send out different speakers and replace the ones I have. I loaded up my old ones thinking that they were coming because Sweetwater sent them next day. And fun story, FedEx is terrible. I got 1 speaker, and then the other 3 sat in the truck, said they were going to be delivered, went back to the warehouse, said they were going to be delivered, and went back to the FedEx warehouse, and I'm still waiting on them. So I guess I'm not using those today. Thanks, FedEx. I'll be renting the good old U-Haul trailer again today, so I just need to put my hitch on. My garage isn't quite deep enough with all my junk in there to close it safely with a hitch on there. I bet you thought I wasn't going to put the pin in. Well, you'd be wrong. But I did do it out of order, and I got completely lucky that it was lined up. I was going to add extra lights to today's show because I charge more for more lights because it's more work. But because of the forecast, I want to be able to tear down quickly. This Lexan plastic is what I used to make the divider in my trunk. Worked out really well, and it cost me $0.50. Okay, it wasn't even 50 cents. Yo, why you mean mugging me, rabbit? Get out here. That's right. I also forgot to get gas, so I guess I'll be filling up before I go get the U-Haul. Because it's a lot easier to pull in without a trailer. And if you're at Casey's and it's morning, you have to have a breakfast pizza. Eggs on pizza sounds disgusting, but it's so good. You can see a little bit of the damage in the area. There's places without power, full trees have come down, it's just a mess. Okay, I do not see the 5x8, these are definitely the 4x's. That's not, wait, there it is. Cool, at least it's here. Fun story, they didn't have one with a ramp, it's got these stupid doors. Ugh, at least this day is starting off great. Thankfully, my wife was still home, so she was able to help me load this in. I could do this on my own, but it is so much easier when somebody helps you. Probably gonna start a sound company, and we're gonna call it the Sound Couple. Just kidding. Oh, it's a great channel though, check it out. If you haven't loaded up a trailer before, you wanna put all your heavy stuff, if you can, towards the front by the car. Otherwise, your trailer can get real squirrely. We don't like squirrely when we're grabbing trailers. Now I just need to grab the subs and load them up. I liked originally having 4 separate subs, but now that I've worked more with Matt's dual 18s, it's so much faster just to wheel 1 sub because it takes the place of 2. But I almost never want 1 sub per side. It's almost always better to have too much and not need it. I'm double checking that I have all the cables in there. I find it simpler to have the cable with the sub when I'm setting up. I'm also taking some carpet squares in case the grass is a little wet. I just want to set my monitor because I will be needing one monitor there. And then I'm going to take some pieces of wood in case the ground is not level for my subs or for lights or for whatever I need it for. Now you're thinking, well, if you didn't get your speakers, what are you going to be running for tops? Well, gang, that's the fun part. I get to drive all the way to Matt's shop because I'm gonna borrow his 725s again. I'm extremely thankful that he's letting me use them again, because otherwise this gig would not be happening. Hey, look what showed up a half hour before I'm supposed to leave. These are my new speakers, and look at these boxes. Holy crap. I'm starting to understand why they didn't want to deliver these. I was inside and didn't notice. I bet the guy probably just dropped them off and ran, because I don't even know what I would have said to him. I mean, take a look at this. Like, how did that even get out of the warehouse? That's insane. Well, I'm not dealing with that today, so we're just gonna go get the other speakers. I'm really bummed out. FedEx failed me again. Champion sent this out for me to try, this distro box. It'd be perfect for today. It was supposed to come 2 days ago, and it literally just showed up as I was leaving, but they did not deliver the power cable, which was supposed to be delivered at the same time. Come on, FedEx. Oh well, moving on. Let's go get the speakers for the gig. Nice little road trip across town before we start. I love this light. Look at that. Why does it point down almost? I'm terrible at remembering passcodes and information about venues, so I like to use the Notes app on my phone. Makes everything easier. There we go. The good old workhorse 725s and no power cable. Hopefully I have extra. I usually keep a few in the trunk. Of course, how today's going, you never know. I'm using my patented blanket trick so that I don't scrape up my bumper. It probably actually doesn't work, but I like to think it does. Look how good that's working. He even left me a nice little ramp because I was complaining about the trailer. What a nice guy. Alright, let's head to the lake. And here it is. It looks a little stormy, but what a beautiful location to be doing a sound gig at. It's so relaxing. In case you're wondering why I'm wearing a Husker Power shirt, the theme for the party today is a Husker party. So I'm not wearing my normal sound attire, that way I can fit in with the theme of the party and not stand out so much. Although black would probably fit in just fine. Now this is a little odd, we're setting up in the grass, which is going to be bumpy and not level, but we'll do our best. I don't need all these little pieces right now, so we're just gonna throw them aside like we don't care about them at all. Get out of here, carpet. My next purchase is gonna be that bar that telescopes. lot of people put them in the back of their pickup trucks. That'll hold a lot better than this weird X pattern I did with these. Look how great this little ramp works. Thanks, Matt. You're alright sometimes. Now these I'm not excited about. These wheels are not quite as big and this is a lot heavier. I'm sure it's going to be a great time pushing through the grass. They did send me a couple pictures from an event a couple years ago, so I could kind of see where the setup was in the grass. My main thing is I want the speaker's coverage throw for the sound to cross over right at where the dance floor is. So I'm setting up just a little bit further back than in prior years, but it shouldn't be an issue because no matter what, the ground is bumpy everywhere. But spoiler, it was an issue. Since I'm going to be putting the 725 on top, the QSCs work better on their sides because then they don't stand as tall and I'm not going to be using a pole. I'll be using the blanket trick again so that I don't scrape up my subs to get the other sub on top since I'm not He-Man and I can't just power lift that sucker up there. So on the bottom of the QSC, there's these rubber feet, and when you line them up, they will pop into these little grooves, and then it'll lock in place, like so. Because of the overcast and the cloudy skies, it looks like it's actually a cool day, but it was incredibly hot and super humid, and it was starting to actually get to me. See? I'm like, whoa, life choices. Here's a closer look at the grooves that those feet actually fit into. It's a really nice system. Yeah, that's not stable. I'll need to grab some of that wood I brought to level that out. This doesn't seem like too much stuff to have to do, but I tell you what, rolling these little wheels through the grass is tough. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad there's wheels on here, but it is not an easy task. And here we go. By far the toughest part, getting it up here, since I can't really tip it, I have to lift it up part of the way and then tip it. I actually make it look a lot worse than it is, but it's still not easy. Also, putting this ratchet strap makes a lot more sense before you put everything up, but I'm not about to take it down and redo it again. You'd think I'd remember from the last time I did this, but here we are. All I'm doing is taking this ratchet and I'm connecting it to the handle on the top. There we go. And then I'll take this one and I will feed it to the other handle, and then I'll be able to ratchet that down tight so that it won't walk off. That's not going anywhere. Now that I'm all set up with the equipment spacing wise, I'm gonna throw out some power. I guess I'm literally dropping power. Now, this is the craziest generator I've ever worked with. That's nuts, look at that thing. The other reason that I set back a little bit was because I had to supply the power cables, which was unexpected, and I wasn't sure it would actually reach, and I didn't want to have it too far stretched out. I run my subs on its own matrix in mono, so I'm just gonna connect these two together. And then to feed the one above it, I'm just gonna use this shorter XLR. And it's so colorful. It is turned on now, and for its size, this thing's actually pretty quiet. Check this out. These guys are real serious about Nebraska Huskers. That is really cool. The funny thing is the fan to operate this thing is actually louder than the generator. I tested the power and we are good to go. So now I need to test out the system, make sure we have sound. And we're good. And as you can see, David is here and everything's working, so we're just kind of going over the game plan. And this is where it fell off the rails a little bit. I saw the slope in the hill, but I hadn't considered it being a bowl. He's using tripods to set up all of his drums. I wasn't thinking that that would be a big deal, but after seeing it, it obviously means it would fall in towards the center because it is bowled out a little bit. So yeah, gotta fix that. We're discussing if moving it's actually gonna help the situation. It might, but the ground is still bumpy. And here you can see it in action. I caught this one, but obviously this is gonna be a problem. So rather than fight it all night, 3 of us got together and we pulled down the speakers. It was not fun, really, but it wasn't that hard because everything, I had enough cable to pull it off and keep it where it was, and then we just restacked them and moved them a little bit, and it did help out. Now I get to throw up my SE mics on the drums. I actually really like these. Really, I think you can make almost any drum mic sound good, but when you have a better starting source, it's always going to be easier to work with, and these are nice. The system tonight is going to be either X32 running in-ears, and then they're sending me tails, which I have plugged into mine, and this time I actually wrote down a quick path for them since I've done this band before, much faster. We're going to be running 2 QSC 118s for subs and 1 725 for the top. Here's the guitar player's pedal board. They use a panic button to talk to each other, but not the crowd. And he is running an orange cab with a JCM 800 head tonight. Much smaller than the 4x12 earlier. And here's his guitars. The singer guitar player will be using this modest guitar pedal setup, and she'll be running direct. Brought some fun pink accessories and busted out the pink guitar tonight. That's a pretty cool telly, to be honest. I've heard a lot of good things about Jet guitars, so I'm curious to see how it sounds. And of course, the best fan you can use as a cover band, I'll link in the description. I love this fan. This is the other guitar player's pedal board, and they will be running into also another orange cab with a Soldano head. And here are his guitars for the night. What's nice is this band is only using 2 guitars. It's way less obnoxious than trying to EQ for 5 guitars all night long and chase that. They use a small 8-channel snake, which saves a lot of running extremely long cables everywhere. The bass player will be using a Fender cab with a Bassman head. And here's a look at his 2 bass guitars. He is going to be using the Fender Jazzmaster. I don't know why I said it that way. And he will be using the only monitor, which is my RCF12. The drummer was able to get some of his kit stable. I'm gonna try the modern setting tonight on the kick. I feel like it might give it a little bit more punch. His kick is a DW3000, and here's his little workstation with his own little mixer. We are all set up. Crises have been averted. Everything works, so now we get to enjoy some barbecue, and I can check out the lake. What a great view. Not every gig looks this nice. So relaxing. Look at that house. That's beautiful. All right, let's stop messing around and get to the gig. Now it looks like I'm a little off center, and that was on purpose because there's a lot of people enjoying music over here, so I want to make sure that some of that speaker would get to them.
Go to a party, everyone turns to see beautiful lady.
There it is, gang. We did it again. We survived another hot and humid gig. I actually really like outdoor gigs. It's just a fun setting and you get bored being inside all the time. But man, it is way more work when you have to bring your entire rig. I was impressed with how the SE mic sounded on modern. I think I prefer it. It's a little less woofy, if that makes sense, than classic, but I could see its spot. Oh, and I also ran the lights more yellow this time. Way less bugs. Always make sure when you're pulling these out that you grab it by the metal. It kind of looks like I'm grabbing the cord, but I'm not. I switched out all my cable ties to these yellow ones, and I make sure that they go where people aren't going to see them so they're not obnoxious, but it's much easier for me to spot if somebody else accidentally grabs one of my cables. Tonight went really well despite all the problems I had early in the day. The band did a great job and everybody had a really good time. In fact, I would honestly say this is one of my favorite bands to work with because they're so nice and they're very easy to work with. I mean, look at this. David's been working all night and he's still taking a time out to help me unload the speaker. What a guy. I'm still bummed out I didn't get to use the Champion distro box tonight. That 30-foot extension would have been fantastic, and then having the distro to split all that power safely would have been really nice to have. Oh well, next gig I guess. I'm just glad that I had these yellow 50-footers that are thicker gauge. Not that I needed to be worried about that distance, but I still almost ran out of length. I don't think I would have felt good using this gauge at 100 foot, but it was fine for 50. I thought this multi-tool was such a great idea, but you can see here in just a second how it fails. Man, I really need to get a screwdriver with multiple tips. It'd have been so much easier to use. I do really like the KS118s, but what's funny is if you took 2 of these for the same cost, actually a little bit less, I could get the RCF 8008, and I think that sub actually sounds better and you can push it harder. I'll probably do that next season, to be honest. I just need to make sure I lock up this drawer so all my little mic attachments and things don't go flying around and scratching everything up in there. I'm not using all the in-ears and stuff up there, but eventually I will get back into playing in my band. The party has died down, almost everybody's gone home. It's just me, a few people, my gear, and this little light, thank God, that I found. Man, if I hadn't had this in my rack, I don't know if I'd be able to see to load this truck up. So I should probably pick up a light for doing that. What are you guys using? I probably want something battery operated, I'm sure. I thought this would save time by pushing these 2 through the grass, but I gotta tell you, my calves hurt the next day. Well, 725s, you came in clutch. If you're needing a system and you don't have a ton of money, picking up a pair of these 725s on Facebook Marketplace or something is a good buy. They're pretty much bulletproof, and they sound good. I am finally done loading up all that gear. Thank you so much for joining me in this video, and I will see you at the next gig.